Keep your glass and your striker clean, or your slate, whatever it is. We'll just go through the basic calls. Start. First key to running any friction type car, whether it's glass, slate, aluminum, any metal, I don't care what it is. The key is never lift the striker off the surface. Never. To do any call. Start with a basic cluck. You just set it on there. You want to use the edge of the striker. And all you do is just bend your wrist. Just pop your wrist. Light pressure. Perfect cluck. Cutting, you just speed that up and dance around on the surface to give you different tones.
Do that.
Purr, you just drag it. See how I'm just turning my wrist over?
Right, yeah.
Just drawing a little circle like to purr. Now to do a cluck and a purr, like what turkeys do when they're feeding, just soft clucks. Real light pressure. Basic yelp, I just draw circles, just like this here. Light pressure. Now, a turkey's yelp is 2 turns. High pitch, key, yelp. Key, yelp. See? And just blend that together. Striker has never left the surface. You want a deeper tone? Just come to the center of the striker. A gobber yelp, just slow it down. I do about a half moon for a gobber, just like I'm doing a half moon if I want a good gobber yelp. You know, a gobber cluck, just pop it a little bit deeper. Where that hen, she's gonna cluck like this. See the difference? Very easy. A hen yelp, short and snappy.
Now, when would you use a hen yelp? In the spring, I'm talking.
Spring or fall. Spring or fall, you're using hen yelps. In the fall, you're attracting young birds with a hen yelp. In the spring, you're attracting gobblers. Now, in the fall, I may do a longer series of yelps, such as maybe a couple clucks. Soft clucks. That's just letting the young turkeys know everything's okay. There's no danger. And then she'll assembly yelp. And the key to this assembly yelp is to keep the rhythm the same. She starts with one rhythm and she ends with the same rhythm. You know, she'll go. See how that rhythm's exactly the same? And she'll stop.
And that's for what?
That's assembly yelp. Now, assembly yelp, you say, how many yelp is it? I've heard turkeys do anywhere from 5 to 30 yelps without stopping in the fall of the year when they're assembly. I mean, sometimes she may just go. And she may go. Regardless how many of them she does, but the key is the rhythm.
And the striker never leaves the
Never ever leaves that surface. Any call you do.
Be it glass or slate?
Anything.
Now what about
metal?
I'm seeing the aluminum one, yeah.
Yeah. Glass, slate, metal, it don't matter. You run them all the same. Do a key run, all you're doing is putting pressure down on your striker. Now I work mine from the outside in, because the outside you're going to have a little bit higher pitch, especially on slate. And you put it down, put a little bit more pressure on it, and just work in drawing circles. And see, as soon as you get to where you want to yelp, then you leave the pressure off and go right into your yelp.
There you go, yep.
And what does the key run do?
The key, that's a lost call of young birds, but adult hens will key a lot when they're regrouping their flock. In the spring of the year, we hear adult hens keying and yelping quite a bit when they're coming to another hen call. Quite a bit they'll do that. And now you want the whistle of a young hen, she'll just mostly key without any yelps. It'll sound like this. high pitched and short and snappy. A young gobbler, he'll probably go a little bit slower and deeper, and he'll yelp with it. See how I make them slow down the whistle, take a little bit pressure off the striker, and definitely slow the yelps down, drag them out a bit. That's how, you know, us guys that are guiding and do this for a living, as soon as we hear a turkey, you know, you guys seen it, we'll tell you, well, there's a young hen whistling, there's a young gobbler, you know, there's an adult hen. You learn to hear those different rhythms and different tones, and you can figure, you're not always right, but most of the time we are. Very simple. Now, if I would break in the fall of the year, break some old gobblers, we visibly seen them, or Jake and a halves, I'm going to pretty much stay closer to the center of my call. I don't care what the surface is, the center is going to give you the deepest tone. And I won't maybe call quite as much to some broken up adult gobblers. First, you're going to wait a good while before you start calling, maybe an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And I'm going to start with something like just a deep gobbler cluck, and then some yelps, maybe just 1 or 2 yelps. Just like that. That's it. I mean, that may be all you hear out of them. And that's not to say that the gobbler will not go. But you see how deep that is and the rhythm slower? Very simple. A lot of times, what we call Jake and a halves, gobblers that are a year and a half old, they'll whistle and yelp. They'll go.
So it's a whistle in the beginning?
Yep. The key or whistle, we call it. You know, real coarse, deep yelp normally. Very, very easy to do. You know. Purrs, simple. Tree call, what turkeys do first thing in the morning. It don't matter where you do. I like to go closer to the center because it's a little bit hollower and it's real soft and muffled. And it's some clucks, some yelps, some purrs. They do everything on a tree. Even young birds will even kee when they're first waking up in the morning. And it may sound something like this here.
That little, yeah.
Oh yeah, and their yelps will be, but they got to turn over. The yelps got to be two-tone. They'll go.
I'm going to come down. This is me. Come on over here. Okay. Back in this
The whole key to good turkey calling is rhythm. Tone doesn't matter. Every turkey has a different tone to their voice, just like us three guys do. You know, so tone, whether it's slate, glass, metal, I don't care. It don't matter. Now, you want a tip for me, my experience, and we made metal calls. I am not a metal call person. They're too inconsistent with the weather. If it gets hot, they get real deep tone. Will it still work? Yes.
Well, why did they manufacture metal if it's going to be inconsistent?
A gimmick. Sells point.
Sells.
Sells point. And they do work. It's a different tone. So it's not a total gimmick, but it is a good... and then when it gets real hot, they're real high-pitched, you know. And sometimes some glass can get a little inconsistent, too. Slate, I found, is the most consistent. But, again, as long as you got the rhythm, the tone don't really matter a whole lot. You know, the rhythm is key. And you got to get that perfect, just that perfect yelp. You know, that, you know, a hen, it's just... And that gobbler is... But that space between each yelp, that's so critical. And you're only going to learn that by listening to turkeys. And you'll get it. You'll pick it up. It's no rocket science. You know, it just takes time, it takes patience. And I don't think there's anything easier to run than a friction type call.
What do you like in the spring for calls?
Well, again, we use the same calls in the spring that we use in the fall. You know, like in the spring, when I'm calling to a gobbler, I'll do a lot of just clucks, a little bit of cutting, and some soft yelps. And if he's responding to that, I'll stick with it. As he comes closer, then I'll do him what a hen does. You know, real easy to do. real simple to do. And basically, for spring hunting, you stick with clucks, yelps, and some cutting. And again, if you want to get a gobbler fired up, and if he's coming, especially if you're in contention with another hen, cut. People say, how long do you do it? I do it continuously, as long as that gobbler's coming or that hen is coming.
Okay.
And as a gobbler gets closer or a hen gets closer to another hen, then she slows down, and after every cluck she'll purr. That's what fools turkeys, when you are authentic. You know, listen to turkeys, do what turkeys do. It's that very simple. Now let me get one of my favorite calls to use as a box call.
All I see, I don't like, I got
I
my.
am out of.
I don't want to do this. It's very fun. I never killed me for.
Got a minute left.
Box call. Very simple. Again, box call is just like a friction call, like a pot call. The key to running it and running it properly is never lift the striker, which is the lid, never lift it off of the surface. Same exact principle as that. That there, when you goes backwards, it makes no noise. And again, it's all about your wrist action. Just snapping your wrist for a perfect yelp. Open it up and just close it. Again, see, you have them two tones. Key, yelp. Key, yelp. Very simple. To purr, all you do, see, all the paddles on a box call, regardless whose manufacturers it is, they're beveled. So to purr, all you do is just tilt your wrist to get the purr. To cluck, now a lot of people cluck by popping it like that. That works well. I prefer to just use my thumb as a spring. Put it on there, watch the bevel. Just take that bevel out and just use your thumb as a spring. Pop it. See, I can change that tone. If I hit it up high, it's higher pitch. Down here. The cluck. Do a fly down cackle with a box call when a turkey's flying out of a tree in the morning, in the spring of the year, or any time. You can really make it sound authentic with it. She starts out just soft, and then when she gets ready to jump off the lid, she gets real excited when she's flying down. And then she hits the ground, she softens up again. Yelp. You want a different tone, just go to the other side. You want to do a gobbler yelp, just slow it down again. Very simple to do, very easy. And the key is keep everything clean. That glass, clean it with a light sandpaper, same as your striker. Slate, you want to clean with a piece of Scotch-Brite, or this particular call here. Now most box calls you chalk them. My call, you don't. I got a waterproof substance on there.
Now you make these, Steve? You sell these?
Well, these here, this particular call here is, I had them made for the ministry. They're for a gift. If somebody gives a gift of $40 to the ministry, I give them a box call or a knife. It's an Answering Prayers logo on it. But this here, you just clean it. Clean it like that, clean it like that. Now and again, keep your fingers off of the surfaces because your fingers got oil and you don't have a problem.
Now what's that green on there that comes with the, what's the green on the side there?
This is a waterproofing system that when I was working with Pennswood's Game Calls, a friend of ours in Illinois, he's the guy that invented the waterproofing system on box calls. You see, many of the companies are making them. Well, it was invented by Pennswood's Game Calls. And of course, it's been copied by every company now. But that's a special, it just eliminates chalk. And you can run this call yet in a light rain or something, you know. You can run in any rain, but you got to keep it, once it does start sliding, you just clean it with the Scotch-Brite and you're right back to...
Where do you get Scotch-Brite?
Well, you get this here at any KitchenAid store. Anyway, you can buy it anywhere. Yeah, right under Pete Clare's sink. You can get that anywhere. Any grocery store, Walmart, wherever they sell dishwashing soap or anything like that. That's all it is. But that's basically how simple it is to run any one of the calls. You know, now this particular call here, it has a different design where you can you can run it in on the back of the call, just give you a different tone, deep, a good gobbler cluck. Good gobbler yelp. But it's just a design of this particular call that I had made for the ministry. So, but very simple. Keep them clean, keep the striker on the surface, and just practice that rhythm. Very, very simple, Gary. You won't have a problem with it. Now go home and do that.
Thanks, Steve.